Good morning, everyone. Who's that saying good morning? I'm Steve, by the way. Good morning. Here's a song that we can begin with, and it's called Cleverly We Begin. We begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. Well, now we could start out anywhere, but we're here now, we're not elsewhere. Right here is where we begin. So let's beautifully bless this place, this blue dot in outer space. This right here is where we begin. Sing it, we begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. I'm so grateful that we're here together. Make some memories, might last forever. Right here is where we begin. We can share some songs and a few stories. Sing along, 'cause it's glorious. This right here is where we begin. Sing it, we begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. When our time is said and done, and we taking in a little love and fun, thinking about doing it again. Though it seems that we have reached the end, remember always, now is when, any moments when we can begin. Sing it, we begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. Here we go. This right here is where we begin. All right, good singing, good clap.
Thank you. Yeah, this right here is where we begin. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Bellevue. I'm Reverend Charles Perry, and I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Bellevue, and it is my joy, honor, and privilege to welcome you to Sunday morning. If you are new here, we want you to know that we are here to help heal what ails you and help you grow spiritually. And if there is anything weighing on your heart or mind today, please let me know, either after the service, or you can shoot me an email or give me a call during the week. On that little table that is by the exit, there is a small business card holder, has my business cards in it with my cell phone and my email address. So if you're bashful, you can just grab one of those and get in touch with me. Also, if you're new here, please make sure you pick up a welcome packet. Go to the welcome table. It's diagonally that way. It's on the way towards the bacon smell. The men's group is making clam chowder today, and they actually fry bacon to get it started. It's amazing, and you will want to stick around afterwards for some of that stuff. But make sure you grab one of those welcome packets, and please fill out the connection card that's in there. And if you want to just fill out a connection card, they're actually on the seat backs in front of you, and you can leave those with our usher or with me. And we will get you on our database, and we can email you our e-newsletter every week. And if you're online, and good morning to everybody who's joining us online, you can go to our website, www.unityofbellevue.org, and then go to the I'm New page fill out a little form there and we will snail mail you one of those packets. Or if you just want to sign up for the e-newsletter, go to the bottom of any page on the website and you can just put in your email address and we will get you hooked up. We also want you to know that you are welcome, accepted, safe, and celebrated here, regardless of your race, creed, color, ethnicity, national origin, religious background, sexuality, gender identity, economic status, or if you are a person who is differently abled. And on that note, I would like to mention that we have hearing assist devices available if you need them. You can check with our usher or our greeter to get one. You are the divine in expression, and you are welcome here. On the note of people who have lost their hearing, Tuesday is Veterans Day. And I was in the field artillery, and many of us have. There's certain bands that we don't hear so well, myself included. And I would like for us to give a unity blessing to all of our vets. And if you're unfamiliar about giving a unity blessing, we do this a lot. And what we do is we say the person's name, and then we say, we see you, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. So would everybody with a DD 214, would you please stand so we can bless you? Anybody? Go on, Rod. Get on up here and get blessed. So we'll say, veterans, stay on there. Veterans, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Thank you. And a big happy birthday to the U.S. Marine Corps. They're 250 years old today, so Semper Fi to all my Marine friends. So we like to express our oneness with all things with our statement of being, which is behind me on the screen. So let's all affirm that together. There is only one presence and one power, active as my life and as the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And now, if you would please join me in affirming our new vision statement together. Healed, spiritually awakened people living in harmony in a world that works for all. Unity is a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. Unity honors the universal truths in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And we are delighted that you have chosen to walk your path with us this morning. We like to begin everything that we do with prayer, so won't you please join me now? Sweet Spirit, we give thanks for all the blessings in our lives. Today we especially are grateful for this time together, this spiritual home where we can gather and grow and learn and love and reach out to one another in compassion and caring. We see not only Unity of Bellevue, but our city, our state, our nation, and our world also learning to live together, to grow together, and to reach out to one another in that same spirit of compassion and harmony. We know it can be, we see it, and we make it so. So it is. Amen. Okay, well, this morning our music director, Tony Serzo, is out very ill. He woke up at 3 in the morning not feeling at all himself. So those of you who keep a prayer list, please put Tony on yours. And help me welcome Steve Mason, Eric Stevens, and Jeff Peterson doing music for us this morning. And would you all please stand as you're able, and we will get started on doing some singing.
Where you want it? Where you want it? Where you want it? Here we go. Ready and
I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Forever is already mine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Already, it's already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal home. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal home. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. I'm going deep to know the divine. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. Yeah, well, I'm ready here and ready home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm rising up to feel the infinite. I'm rising up to know the divine. I'm rising up to feel the infinite. And forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul.
All right, please remain standing for our next one.
I miss Tony.
I know, yeah. I do too. But you guys are doing great.
Yeah. We'll wink at you, Tony. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. Not gonna trouble the water. Is that host all dressed in red? Wade in the water. Must be the children that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that band all dressed in white? Wade in the water. Must be the children, the Israelites. God gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God gonna trouble the water. Who's that young one dressed in blue? Wade in the water. Must be the children coming through. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. If you don't believe I have been redeemed, wade in the water. Just follow me down to Jordan stream. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
All right, please be seated.
What a band.
No kids, we're going to just go straight into the meditation song. All right, so now let's go ahead and get ready to spend some time in meditation. I invite you to get comfortable wherever you're seated. Go ahead and lay aside anything you may be holding in your hands. Maybe get your feet straight on the ground. And feel that connection to Mother Earth. Lift the crown of your head up towards Father Sky. Take some nice deep breaths. It is so easy to get caught up in where we've come from or where we think we're headed. All the little plans we've made, all the ways we try to control life, and sometimes the best thing we can do is just breathe into this moment. Be here. Allowing. Someone in the recovery community once wrote, "And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today." That doesn't mean we don't work to fix them, but we don't have to suffer because we don't like where we are. Sometimes all we can do is just take a breath, get grounded, be here now. And sometimes we go into meditation asking Spirit to let us know, hey, is there something I need to do here? And then we get quiet for a while. If our mind starts talking to us, we just tell it, shush, child. I got to listen. There's something deeper, something without a voice, something that just lets us know. And when you know that you know. But we can't do it living in the past or the future. We have to access our divine powers here and now. And so in this sacred place, this sanctuary of peace and joy and hope and love, we just give ourselves the opportunity to breathe into this now moment, to do what we call our spiritual communion, and spend a little bit of time with God in the silence. Sometimes we emerge from silence with a knowing. If we'd had some kind of question on our minds and we genuinely let go for a few minutes, sometimes Spirit will speak to us. Sometimes the only thing that happens is we become aware of who and where we are and what we're really doing. Sometimes maybe we just separate our shoulders from our ears and let our blood pressure drop a couple of points, and that's good too. Our brother and way forward, Jesus, is said to have told the stormy waters, "Peace, be still." You know, and metaphysically, that's the Christ of us. Looking out on the chaos that water represents and simply finding peace somewhere. Somewhere in that storm, there is peace. When we are willing to take the time to go within and to find that divine spark that lives in each and every one of us. Peace is there, I promise. Love is there. Hope is there. Joy is there. Even now, no matter what outside circumstances or conditions are. We can be grateful to God, grateful to Spirit for this tiny blue ball in the middle of space that we get to call home, for the air we breathe, the water that we drink and that flows through our veins, the gorgeous fall colors around us, beautiful day we have. Just being here with like-minded people. We're so deeply, deeply grateful for this and all our blessings, and for all of them, every one of them. We say thank you, sweet Spirit. Thank you, God. So it is. Amen.
So I met Tony a couple months ago, and we were at Unity Village, and we were at the Empower Music Festival, which was really sweet. A lot of people who play around at the all over the country and all over the world at the many of the New Thought churches were there, and we all got to get up and play a song in front of everybody, and there's 100 or so people, and I'm all excited, except for the fact that they drew names out of a hat and I was the first up. So, but the worst part was they gave me Mr. Floppy. What I didn't know was they had one microphone stand that had like red tape all over it because it does this. So, and this is the song. They let me play it over because it was such a fiasco. But a dear friend of mine told me a while back that he just thought that when I play, one of the things he's seen me do, it was a huge compliment. He says, "You let love lead." And I don't always feel that way, but I always want to do that. And it was just such a great reminder. So I wrote a song to remind myself. And if it reminds you, then good too, I stare at stars most evenings, searching for some meaning, wide-eyed and wondering the reason for my being. And I've dreary days I must confide when taking not one step outside in the darkness. Sometimes I want to hide, keep myself locked up inside. But sometimes I wait the feeling out, I take baby steps instead. Grateful I'm reminded from my heart, not my head, to let love lead. Let love lead. Well, I've heard it from beloveds, friends and sages, across so many lifetimes, throughout the ages, lifting up my soul, my energy, my spirit, with simple words. And so, think it's time that I can hear it. Let love lead. Let love lead. It's more than just some simple thing. Reminds me when I get to sing to let love lead. Let love lead. It's not for nothing, my buddy Joey'd say, but that's a little understated, because love's a lot like something that can't be overrated. Like talking all night long, singing up till dawn. Ah, the music, it just sets us free. Remind us of this loving creed. Let love lead. Let love lead. It's more than just some simple thing. So happy when we get to sing. Let love lead. Let allow and let it be. Love surrounding you and me. Lead, it's our destiny. It is the journey. Let allow and let it be. Love surrounding you and me. Lead, it's our destiny. It is the journey. Lifting up our souls, our energy, our spirit, with simple words and so I think it's time, if you want to sing it, let love lead. Let love lead. Let love lead. Yeah. Let love lead. Big finish. Let love lead.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. That's nice. So just a couple of things before I actually get into what I wanted to talk about today. First one is for, the T-shirt watch. This is one of my collection of End Veteran Suicide shirts. The number 22 is the approximate number of vets who take their lives every day. We've lost about 180,000 of us since 9/11. Yeah, it's like 10 times the number we lost in combat in the entire war on terror. So, anything that we can do to help, I encourage us to reach out and do that when we can. It boggles my mind. And if you'd like to see a little something that kind of lays out for you what that's like, the movie My Dead Friend Zoe is about that. And I think the cast is like 70 to 80% vets. It was a crowd-funded movie, and it's really excellent. I don't know whether it's on Netflix or, what streaming service, but it's not in the theaters anymore. I think we can get it, streaming. So, well worth your time. So the other thing that I wanted to say, and now that I've got you all good and depressed, when you spend enough time in uniform, you learn to have a pretty dark humor. Mine kind of creeps out from time to time. Anyway, good news, great stuff going on. This is from, news from the home office. So earlier this week, it was Wednesday, we had our annual business meeting of the denomination, and 5 of us from this church participated. Every ministry was allowed to send 4 delegates and their minister. So we had a full delegation, and we were voting to combine the 2 Unity organizations into one organization, and they've been talking about this for decades. The Association of Unity Churches, which is essentially the organization that we now know of as Unity Worldwide Ministries, separated from Unity World headquarters at Unity Village back in the 1960s. And they were completely separate organizations for most of my lifetime. And we've talked about this before, we've tried to get it done before, but it just wasn't the right people in the right places at the right time until this past year. And for about a year, the people at the top of both organizations have been doing a lot of work and a lot of, asking folks out here in the field, if we do this, what do you need? What do you want it to look like? And so on Wednesday, when we took the vote, it was overwhelmingly in favor of the merger of the 2 organizations, like 91% to 9%. And so going forward, nothing has changed yet, other than the fact that legally we're going to do it. So the websites remain the same for now. The people that you would contact, like if you want to renew your Daily Word subscription, or you want to call Silent Unity, all that stuff is the same. As things change, we will be letting you know, just like I'm doing right now. Okay? But I just wanted to let you know this is huge, and I think it's really going to help us out here, the ministries out in the field. We're going to be able to keep getting the kind of support from the denominational body that we probably would have lost over time because of some financial pressures on them. Now that they're all in with Unity World headquarters at Unity Village, it's like the economy of scale is really going to help. And we're going to be able to keep doing the things that we're doing and maybe even do a few more. So, good news. All right. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So, we are in the middle of a series that I'm doing on Ask the Minister. Last year when I did my Ask the Minister Sunday, there were a whole bunch of questions that I could not get around to answering because there was just, we couldn't stay here all day. So I've collected a bunch of the cards that you guys sent me, and I'm trying to get a lot more of them answered over this kind of 4-week period before we get into Thanksgiving and Advent. Anyway, so I had several different cards that kind of had a similar thread, and I'm going to share them with you. Does Unity do ministry to jails and hospitals? I believe that if the wardens of the prisons knew what empathy is and how to implement it, the prisoners would respond well. The hospital is also where people needing care and prayer reside. How will we support friends and family affected by anti-immigrant actions and or prejudices? Do we have an avenue to support the illegal or legal or any immigrants here in the area that we can reach out to and support in this difficult political season? How does Unity view Paul's message about women speaking in church/ministry? How do we as a church attract younger members? I'm new and would like to know what opportunities to help others are available through this church. So, the common thread that goes through all those is every one of those folks that got mentioned there are people who are among some of the many traditionally marginalized communities that are out there and have been since, well before Jesus' time. So there are several answers to all of these questions, and I'm going to try to give you as much information as you can, because I know there are a lot of us that are here today and that are online with us that are active in trying to help others in their community in one way or another, whatever it is. I know several of you who have a particular, charity or an organization or a cause that is important to you, and I want to let you know about a few other things in case you've been looking for a way to help. As far as Unity doing ministry to jails and hospitals, so this is something Unity's been doing for a while. The Unity Outreach Program is a service project that offers you, your team, or your ministry an opportunity to connect meaningfully with your local community. We, and that we is Unity headquarters, provide non-denominational spiritual resource materials to you for distribution in your local area to places such as hospitals, prisons, nursing homes, treatment programs, and other places where people need spiritual encouragement. There is no cost to participate. So the way that program works is if there are some folks in the congregation that would like to do that, we can go on to Unity's website, and there's some steps that we go through, and like there's a spreadsheet that we fill out, and it's like, well, what hospital do you want to go to and drop stuff off at, or what prison do you want to go to and offer some of this stuff to, and then we send off to Unity and say, okay, I want 15 of this publication, or I want 20 of that one, whatever the case may be. And they have examples of some of the ones that they have just for those purposes, or at least that are really good for them. Like for people in hospice, there's resources for that. For people who need healing, there's resources for that. And then we distribute them and hopefully get some feedback from the people that we distribute them to, and then we put that on the website and tell them, hey, we gave these people this many of this thing, and here's what they said. So it becomes kind of a circular thing, and then hopefully it goes well, and later on we go back and say, hey, we need 20 more of those, right? So if anybody's interested in doing something like that, we can do that. Now there are other things that we as a congregation do and that we as individuals can do as well. Supporting illegal and legal immigrants. It's funny that this question came up, and I'm talking about this now because I think it was either last month or the month before that we gave the optional portion of our tithe. Every month we tithe, as a congregation. A lot of it is kind of mandated by board policy to go to the unity organizations, but there's a piece of it every month that the tithing committee, we decide on organizations, not-for-profit organizations that are doing work that we want to support. And here in the past couple of months, we just supported an immigrant legal defense fund that's up here in the Northwest, right? So we are also, our safety and security team has been, kind of ramping up and going over some of our policies and procedures, and we're actually looking at the possibility of turning that back hallway into like a posted employees-only area, so that if we needed to sanctuary some immigrants during a raid, we could put them back there and keep them safe. That's another thing that we're looking at. And if anybody, any of y'all have great ideas about other ways that we can support those folks, I am all ears for that. How does Unity view Paul's message about women speaking in church and ministry? Well, first of all, as an ordained minister who studied the Bible a lot, most of the stuff that Paul is accused of saying, women need to basically sit down and shut up, most of that stuff is found in not the actual Pauline letters, but what they call the Deutero-Pauline epistles, things that were written and attributed to Paul, but Paul, responsible historians are pretty sure he didn't actually write to somebody, And then I will also just recognizing what Paul was doing when he was writing those letters was he was church building, right? And so somebody who's trying to build a congregation has a slightly different flavor to what they're doing. So there may have been a couple of congregations where there were some folks causing a problem. And rather than calling people out by name, Paul's like, well, everybody over there that's causing a problem is a woman, so I'm just going to tell them, y'all need to take it easy. And just real world, right here in this building, okay, we rent to a Zoroastrian congregation. Okay, and like the last meeting that they had, two women who've been fussing at each other for 13 years got into such a big to-do that the cops had to show up, and there were 3 cop cars in our parking lot. Okay, so maybe he was trying to keep something like that from happening with one of his congregations. That's just, without naming names kind of deal. That's a possibility. But, honestly, what does Unity think? Well, ever since the very first ministerial class that graduated in like 1911 or 1912, Unity's ordained women, and, if you look at the pictures over the years of our classes, Unity mostly ordains women, right? I'm kind of an anomaly. Straight white guy. I'm definitely in the minority. But that's okay. They a little DEI, they let me in too, thankfully. How do we as a church attract younger members? That's a good one. I look around and, we'd like to do that, right? These days, it seems like the most important thing is being active. And I know there are some people who, say, oh, we don't need to be political. Well, if you want to bring kids in, you want to bring younger people in, we need to be doing things out there in the community. And many of them may be viewed as political, but what they are is they are our moral obligations to our fellow citizens. Bottom line. Feeding, healing, housing the homeless, whatever it is. So, doing service and doing it not just for people in the church and not just for, everything that's inside the corners of our property, right? Being focused outward rather than inward. That's how we're going to attract younger members. And somebody else said, I'm new and would like to know what opportunities to help others are available through this church. And we've got a bunch, right? I've been talking about some of them. Usually, our small groups will have some kind of a service project that they do as part of their arc for that particular group. We've got the little free pantry out there on the corner, and after everything happened with SNAP, I also reached out to HopeLink and got a stack of boxes that's out there in the lobby, and it's pretty much full. I'm going to have to either go over there on Wednesday or get the gal that brought those to come empty them, and we'll start again, because there are a lot of people going hungry right now, right? So we help people that way, and we're not against doing all kinds of things in all kinds of different ways. And when we look at why do we do this, right? We're supposed to be here getting all spiritual. Well, as I say at the beginning of pretty much every service, unity is based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer, right? And when you dig into the Gospels, there's probably at least 30 examples of Jesus reaching out to various groups or individuals that in his day were the people who were marginalized. And the horrifying thing is there are a lot of the same people today, right? But just as a quick example, right? Under the category of the sick and the unclean, there's where Jesus actually touches and heals a leper, right? Which back in his day, that was like, people would just not go near someone with leprosy. Women, and this blows me away that women still are fighting to be treated like equal human beings, 2,000 years after Jesus' time. And one of the examples is in John chapter 4, the Samaritan woman, who finds dignity in living water. The poor and the powerless. He blesses the children and says that the kingdom of God belongs to them. Ethnic outsiders. The Romans in church. So the Romans are literally occupying his country. But Jesus recognizes this guy's faith and says, your servant's okay. We got you. Thank you for your support. Social outcasts. He would dine with tax collectors and sinners and hookers. People that nobody else was going to break, the good people weren't going to break bread with. And Jesus was like, no, yeah, let's sit down. Let's do this thing. In fact, that one act, the breaking of bread with other people, even people who were very different, became the way that early Christians worshiped. They would get together very often in graveyards, and they would break bread. They'd share a meal together. That's like the first generation Christianity. And we still do it today, right? When we're done here, we're going to go have some really awesome clam chowder. And unless you're allergic to shellfish, I'm sorry if you are, because this stuff's really good. But don't miss it. It's delicious. But we get together every Sunday. We break bread together, and I think that's an important thing for us to do. The condemned and forgotten. Yeah. So if you remember him, granting mercy to that thief on the cross next to his. And of course, what we really know is that they weren't thieves. The only people that got crucified were people who were accused of insurrection by Rome. So if he was a thief, he was probably trying to steal weapons from a Roman armory. Like the John Brown of his day. And there are, literally a handful of examples of each one of those that I found as I was looking this up. It's amazing the amount of times that Jesus reaches out to people who, at least in his day, were not the kind of people that were being lifted up, especially by the existing religious structure that he was living in. He was kind of like, hey, wait a minute, guys. Instead of just listening to the Romans and trying to put money in our pockets. How about we go back to the old ways where we were supposed to take care of each other? Right? But there's also a piece of this is it's not just simply doing for someone else or some other group. It's actually seeing them. This is the looking in part. Right? One of the things that Jesus was really good about was seeing people. Like he names the woman who touched his cloak daughter. He sees Zacchaeus up in the tree. He listens to Bartimaeus when other people are trying to silence him. He commends that widow who could only give like a penny, and he sees how much that was to her. In that story, I like to tell a lot about Jesus and the young man, the young rich guy. It says he sees him and he knows him, and then he's like, okay, I got you. And then he tells him, what you need to do is sell your stuff, give the money to the poor, and follow me. Seeing is important, and it's something that we often don't want to do. I mean, how many times have we walked by or driven by people who are begging and looked away? I'll be honest, I'm guilty of it. I think most of us are. It's scary, because a lot of us are like, oh, geez, wonder what happened there, and I hope it doesn't happen to me. I don't want to see it, right? But the thing is we really need to see people. Just give them that dignity of having been seen. I remember when I first started going to Christ Church Unity in Orlando, I'd been the president of the board of my little church in Kissimmee when we closed. And it was tough. And so I just, showed up at CCU and just went to church, left. So it was probably a little earlier than this time, a year, and the music director at the time asked people to rat on their neighbors because she wanted people for the Christmas choir. So she's like, hey, if the person next to you knows how to sing, let me know who they are. And so I just came up to her and said, okay, I'm going to rat on myself. Yeah, I can sing. And anyway, after the holidays were over with, she gave everybody that had participated in the choir a little gift. And mine was a refrigerator magnet that said, you are seen, you are known, you are loved. That really meant a lot to me, One of the other things that I learned while I was there, and this is again going back to not just giving away stuff to the marginalized, but really seeing them and bringing them in. I think I've told this story at least once before, but it bears repeating. The first Thanksgiving that we had Reverend Alice as our minister, she wanted to do a meal for the homeless, but not just a meal for the homeless, it was a meal with the homeless, where we had, we put the word out to all the places where the homeless were gathered and to, like some of the service organizations. We're going to do this big feed for the homeless at our church on, I think it was the Saturday of Thanksgiving week. And, so we signed up to bring in turkeys and, stuffing and all the fixings. At the first one that we had, there were about 100 of us from the congregation that showed up to about 90 homeless people. And we sat down at tables together and ate with these people that, were homeless. Most of them were unwashed and disheveled, and we spoke with them, and we got to know a little bit about them. And then as the years went by, what we started doing was adding to that day, and we brought in people who did everything from try to help them get signed up for services that they were eligible for, to barbers who would cut their hair. And I think at some point we even got into bringing in a portable shower. And I mean, just, all sorts of services. We actually had talked to the mass transit people in Orlando and were able to give people a pass to, they just had to show this, like a little paper ticket, like you tear off a flyer, and they could give it to the bus driver, and they could get from wherever they were to our church and then back to wherever they wanted to go. And it grew and it grew, but one of the main reasons it grew was, it wasn't just a few of us standing behind a counter handing stuff out. We were with them, seeing them, listening to them. We were doing their best to let them know, hey, you're one of us. We're part of you, and we want you to do better. We don't want you to just survive. We want you to thrive. And actually, I think we used to call them survive to thrive. In the scripture, according to Matthew, Jesus is supposed to have said, "Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did it to me." And I think that is the one thing that we can take going forward. We can go out and we can help, and we can look in as well as turning outward. And when we do, we're doing the actual work of followers of Jesus. The word Christian has gotten a lot of baggage recently. I remember when I was a kid, they used to sing, and they'll know we are Christians by our love. So people may not call us Christian, but they'll know who we are by our love. Thank you.
That's one of the only songs I remember from church as a kid, It's beautiful. Yeah. One in the Lord. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I got a hint of what you were going to speak on today, which was really nice. And it queued up this song. Somebody had heard that I write songs for different things. Events and so on, and they were putting on one of the Relay for Life walks, the overnight walks. And this is about 20 years ago. It was the Snoqualmie walk. And talk about, it was a beautiful night. I think it didn't get below 70 that night, and all the little candles along the pathway. So we all sang this song together, but they had sent me a DVD of what Relay for Life was about. I had heard about it, but the DVD was all about the strength in numbers, how we're stronger together. So I wrote this song. It's called "There's a Circle." There are times we feel downhearted, when we'd swear we walk alone. Still we search for any sign that we might find our pathway home. Now there's something oh so lovely, like a star in a crystal night, when I'm reminded deepest darkness can be lit with just one candle's light. There's a circle we're a part of, hand in hand it glows with love. In this circle there's strength in numbers, as we rise to lift each other up. With the help of sisters and brothers, and some friends I have yet to know. They give me strength to face the future. They lift me up so I'm never alone. And there's a circle we're a part of, hand in hand it glows with love. In this circle there's strength in numbers as we rise to lift each other up. Every breath, every step, every heartbeat in my chest. There's a circle we're a part of as we rise to lift each other up. Come the morning, bright and cleansing, it's gonna warm from the outside in. Nothing shines so, oh, so brightly as the light that shines from within. And there's a circle we're a part of, hand in hand it glows with love. In this circle there's strength in numbers as we rise to lift each other up. As we rise to lift each other up. We arise, we rise with love. We rise with love. We rise with
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so now's the time in the service when we get into the flow of prosperity and we give back to this place that hopefully gives us the spiritual food that we need to get through this next week. So, if you're new here or if you haven't been here for a while, we don't pass the bags or the baskets. We do what I call the sacred walk of abundance. I don't just call it that. I got that from Reverend Edwin Gaines, who's a prosperity teacher in Unity. So what is going to happen is Ken is going to direct traffic, and you guys all come up here. If you are physically giving here in the sanctuary today, you put it in this pretty little bowl. But everybody, whether you're giving physically today or not, gets to gather up one of these little affirmations. I like to call them spiritual vitamin pills. If you're on this side, you're going to go to that basket and then around that way. And you folks are going to go to this basket and around that way so that we keep the aisle reasonably clear. Mine says, God's joy fills me and overflows from me to others. I hope you all get that. I hope you're getting some of the overflow there. So yeah, I'll keep that. That's a good one. All right, so let's go ahead and bless up our tithes and love offerings with our love offering blessing that's on the screen behind me together. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving. This is the bounty of God, and I send it forth with wisdom and joy.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take home to the place I belong. Yeah, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. Radio remind me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, take me home. Take me home. Country road, one more time. Take me home. Down country road.
Woo! For an old hillbilly from West Virginia, it's always good to hear that song. All right, sweet Spirit, we give thanks for these tithes and love offerings, and we send them forth to do the work of Spirit as lived and taught by our brother and way shower, Jesus the Christ. We see each gift returning to each giver, not just tenfold or 100-fold, but 1,000-fold, a good measure, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen. Okay, so we've got some announcements, and the very first one is from Kathy Lane, our board president.
Hello, I'd like to introduce,
Oop.
I guess I need that.
Yeah, let me make sure. Are we on? No, we're not even on. Hello, good morning.
Okay, thank you.
There we go.
Okay, I'd like to
Yeah.
introduce the members of our board nominating committee. We have Ken McClellan, Shelley Lish, Susan Neidig, and Lisa Singer. Okay, more about them in a moment. Do you care about this community? Do you have an emotional attachment to this community? Would you like to be part of charting the future of Unity of Bellevue? Have I got a deal for you? The Board of Trustees, which is a very cool group of folks, but we have 2 openings that are stepping off the board. So this is an opportunity, if you think you are a cool person, for you to become part of this group of cool people to forge our future. We'd like you to have some positive energy and a commitment to the organization. And it would be a fun thing for you to do, I promise you, because we're going to be doing some cool stuff. And now is the time to step up. And let's do this. And as a reminder, these folks on the committee are awesome and dogged. And resistance is futile. Thank you.
Yeah, we are the board. Okay. All right. So we're going to have one-on-one prayer following the service like we usually do. If you have a prayer concern, either something that's weighing on your heart or something you'd like to celebrate. Lisa, Singer is going to be our prayer chaplain today. She'll be down here immediately following the service. I already mentioned lunch following the service, done by the men's group, and so thank you guys for that. It's going to be delicious, and I'm going to elbow my way up there and make sure I get some chowder, right? Following lunch at 12:30 in the library, which is the room over there, will be the Political Curiosity Small Group. And that's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So we're still doing our 2026 calendar fundraiser. It's the 12 Powers is kind of the theme of next year. So we didn't plan this. It just happened, right? It was a God thing that the calendar we're doing for next year is also based on the 12 Powers of man as Charles Fillmore came up with them. So that'll be a lot of fun. It's $20 and over in the bookstore. Life of Prayer is getting started on Wednesday, November the 12th. It will be online. It's at 6 p.m. and you can register through the website or the e-newsletter that goes out. There's a link there for that also. It's a great class to introduce you to Unity-style prayer, whether you want to go any further with it or not, but it is also the prerequisite to become one of our prayer chaplains. We got a great bunch of prayer chaplains, but there's no harm in having more. And also our prayer team that we're putting together that they don't necessarily pray with people, but they help pray, on behalf of the church and the prayer requests that we get. So that's going to be really great. And speaking of our prayer chaplains, they have put together a prayer for Veterans Day, and that's available on the little round table back there before you leave the sanctuary. So make sure you grab one of those and say a prayer for my brothers and sisters on Tuesday. There will be wellness calling by our prayer chaplains happening this coming Saturday, November the 16th. So if it's Saturday and you're getting a call from a local number that you don't know, you might want to answer it because somebody wants to pray with you. And if you just let it go to voicemail, they'll leave a prayer on there for you. So if you'd rather have a prayer that you can go back and listen to over and over again, that's a way. You can do that too. We will be doing our memorial tile dedication next Sunday at 12:15. So I know some of you who donated money to get a memorial tile out there in the atrium. We're going to be dedicating them next Sunday after the service. We're going to be doing a dessert auction for the holiday Sunday, November 23rd at 12. And please see Shelley. She's doing a lot of work. She's on a couple of different teams. See her if you can sign up. And there's a sign up out in the atrium that you can sign up to bring a dessert for that auction. Our second holiday arts and crafts fair is going to be Pearl Harbor Day, Sunday, December 7th at 10 a.m. We will be doing a candlelighting service, a Christmas Eve candlelighting on Christmas Eve this year at 6 p.m. That'll be Wednesday, December 24th. And now we are going to sing the peace song and do the prayer for protection. So everybody stand.
On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, and family all are we. Let us walk with each other perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.
Right now, with every step I take,
Let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace
light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a great week, Unity.
That was fun. Thanks. We want to play something? Yeah. Are you guys sticking around for some chowder?